Welcome back. In my recent video on the Birdman Underground Science 110, I found myself looking into the Birdman. Maybe I should go to it. From this paper, or not paper, but this website, this article, this from here. Okay. I was looking into this, so let's go ahead and get this up. I wasn't intentionally looking into it, but just stumbled on it. And I started to see features that parallel here that I went through, so maybe I'll just quickly do that again to get like a bearing again on what I'm kind of thinking about now and what I just wanted to talk about. Okay. So this was the first time I had seen this, at least like thought about it. Maybe I've in passing come across like the Birdman, but maybe not these specifically. But they immediately brought to mind this region, so we'll start with the head of Saurashtra. Here, specifically, like where I really started to get like curious was with the eye, and then the patch. It's kind of oval, and then this one's kind of elongated but sharp. Elongated, sharp, and it's like a miniature bird in the eye patch of the bird. And I was talking about this, and I realized I was watching my video to get a bearing. I pointed to here and up here as reference points where current flows and creates that type of structure. Especially here, it's more noticeable where it's sharp type indentations. But it's not as detectable here. Maybe I didn't notice. Maybe this could be like said to be kind of like it. It does kind of have like a one-sided directional, at least over here, the way this is. Like it's smooth on this side, but it's really hooked on this side. So it's to a degree happening here. This is more hooked as well. So it's more like a rounded one. And then over here, they're more just like balanced across. So it's not exact to that, but it did occur to me that maybe it's here. So maybe let's... Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, I thought I'd check it out. See if there was at least maybe something here. Pardon me. If anything, then that it's not very pronounced. Though there is just this like region where current flowed through here that did kind of go like out this way, that would produce like that would basically lead to this kind of structure. So maybe it's more pronounced than here or elsewhere, somewhere that I'm not like aware of, like even in this region. Seemingly not here, although the data is kind of lacking out further. Okay, let's keep going. The necklace region here, like at least this one, but then more so we can kind of see over here at least like parallel line type structures in this area. like here. Also the beak that has also kind of parallel lines along it here. Probably because current was like kind of cutting across, creating a cross stream. Here it even went through to a degree. Necklace with this little spiral thing. Here, I mean, maybe it's just related to this area somehow. Then a shoulder. This one's kind of like a shoulder, this tortoise feature of the Kutch. And then I started looking more at the rest of the body of this one, considering this to be like a wing. And then I noticed there's really not like pointedness coming in towards the body region as this depicts. But there is here. Here. So I was thinking, like, here's the head, the neck. So, like, below it, it kind of branches off. So it might be a little too far to take it over here, but so maybe it's more like here, like in this region, like a first outer one. That really the outer one is defined by this main, like, thick conduit that branches not just over there, but even through here. So I believe here, actually. Let's see. And even over into here. And basically produces a spiral all the way up. This way, with an upper wall here and a bottom wall here, which I guess is around here. Upper, or maybe here. I think here, though. If I go to my animations, just pull this up. Basically, this boundary so that boundary is probably the outer wing of a side. I guess this shoulder away from the beak towards the back side of the head. Not that that necessarily has any significance in what I have to say, at least. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with the colors here. Oh, this is from Florida. Crazy. So there's a first one there, but then there's a second one here that's got the same kind of general pointedness. Maybe even exists further. Oh, this mouse. Okay. But then there's a body that goes generally this way, with a heart here. The body going generally this way. Oops. So even out to here, probably, like generally here, like the wing span is really all the way to here and here. So really like out to this river and kind of up this way. Is the body like that width here. And then over to like here, I guess. That's a big body relative to this. Like it seems like it should be here. I'm just trying to put like in a sense, trying to put this involved because of its potential, like being labeled somewhere. Okay, let's keep going though. I don't want to get too caught up on details I already talked about on that one. So then there's the mounds here that are kind of like plutonic complexes here maybe, or else like these type of larger mounds in this region maybe. Just to like point to that there could be something that maybe is being indicated by this, that just like currents tend to do, that it's like the natural order of this type of process that occurred. And then I was talking about how the Himalayas have like essentially where the feet are tapped in like two locations here, especially where the dendritic mountain flow into the Himalayas kind of like protrudes inward here. And kind of protrudes inward here, maybe. I know it does it the whole length, but perhaps there's like features that are tied to the bird. Okay, so and then the tail, this region would be essentially the Tibetan Plateau, which I talked about. Okay, and then let's just move on from this one. There's also the leg would be potentially here. Just maybe not. Maybe here and here. Like there. That's kind of pointing towards that. And that's kind of pointing towards that. So maybe those are actually like where? Let's look here. So the reason I really even decided to hit record was because of this here. I was like, I was looking at this yesterday, but I didn't really. I just moved on from it. Okay. So the red is the Himalayas up here. So I was thinking, what if like this and this are kind of like the legs? When I was looking at this, that is here and here, so that's a good sign. It doesn't reach the Himalayas in the same way. Just wondering if there's like a claw type feature here. It would have to be. Incredible. So maybe there, like this to me, maybe points to some positions where the legs would be. Like here's the legs, here and here, or was generally maybe here is this whole like region right here. I believe that's there. Yeah, like this is the opening here is here, so like this would be a leg, and this would be a leg, and this would be like the opening between the legs then. If that were to be reflective of, it almost reaches out to the wing low. I feel like maybe these two, and this is just part of the wing. Like this kind of looks like a leg with some claws. Whoa. What in the... This looks like a leg. Very linear. This stretch. Not all like after here. It starts to just kind of become fluid. Smiley face. Oh yeah, look at the change in material as it goes from like a leg to like a foot of a bird that then branches out, having like claw-like features. Let's see if the other one does that. Over here. So this would be the first leg, and so the other leg would be the Air Valley Trend, which is pretty like straight this way. So that's a good start. That we're getting similar, like elongated, slender leg-like thing. That is so cool. What? Just lush green in this. That looks like a claw right there already. How far did we go for that? Like this claw's all the way over here. This claw's like... It's almost like it continues this whole length though. Whoa. Oh my god. This is totally like a hand of God current. Pillars of creation. It's just everywhere. A current moving like this way that hits resistance and branches through like channels, but then just tends to form shapes like this by essentially like it's hitting an object's like field here, so it goes around it through this around, then it hits another object's field, it goes around it, I guess, and just keeps doing that. So we see physically here an object that it did that to. It just went to it and went around it. And we can even see like an extended field out this way. But generally, like the overall current is flowing that way. Because it's coming from the deck and traps underbelly. It's coming from here down this way. Maybe that's why they're so ancient. Because it's like this bone, practically, like the leg of the bird. Like they're not. There's some things that appear to be like uplifted in a way that it just and is Kraton. So it just looks old, but it was still formed at a different time than it's dated to be. Whereas like the Deccan Traps formed of like newly released material. This already pre-existed. It was just shaped by currents flowing in the region. And so its dating appears like the older dates, but it's actually not. Okay, let's keep looking. Certainly it's branching out. Am I looking at this left leg still? Here's the right leg, yeah, okay. Comes in singularly pretty much here with some notable like platonic bloops. Platonic bloops. This one is actually notably nearby this region that's like lacking of material, almost like it like separated here, like the current caused some vibrational energies to then like take the current from here and separate it this way, and then it's like undercurrent and then up, under, up, under, up, and then starts to maybe come up more consistently. Join this really. So this also has the leg branching into multiple like 3+ strands, maybe even out here. In this region, this region. What in the... Wow. That's just crazy looking. So this claw goes here. This claw seems to only go there at that point. But it does continue, seemingly. So maybe it goes ultimately, like, to where this type of thing stops happening up there. Which is pretty much the same distance as here. And maybe it even widened. That actually, yeah, like, where did this come from? It probably came from this current. that widened here and just distributed into this hook. So we got a one leg hook, second leg hook. So it doesn't go to the Himalayas, but they still energetically connect to the Himalayas. Maybe even still like this here connects to this. And this one maybe connects to here. I don't know if that makes sense, or maybe actually more like this. And maybe over here. This looks like it's pretty much here, here. Although this goes down here, over here, up here, kind of. Where this one does kind of go to the here, to up here. So maybe, I don't know. Or even to... So we found some bird claws. Let's go back to the bird image now, I guess. Some claws like that. I wonder if there's like hooks and mounds. Maybe we should check out. Nothing especially like hooking at the end, notably. Let's just move past that. Maybe this region. Now that we got a bearing on where the legs would maybe be, here is a foot. Here's a foot. So then that would mean this region would have to be somewhere in here. Leg. Really, the leg starts here and here, like maybe in that region. But it really goes the whole length, so probably like this part starts more like here and here. So that would mean like this region, maybe. Let's see. This region even. Nothing that like sticks out there especially. There is kind of a shape like that. I don't know if that nothing especially. Okay. I was thinking maybe these dots on the shoulders. It's possible this, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are considered islands. So like notches between them. Notches. So there are notches in this, enough to like maybe be reminiscent of that. And then the other shoulder. I believe is like generally here. Nothing like over there that I'm aware of. Maybe there. Just some kind of circular type things going on. I don't see anything though. Maybe if we extend down here, because of the Deccan traps going down further, Maybe, but that's kind of, or maybe here, like specifically because it's kind of a similar material, soil, like here, just above this thing. It's a cool region, but again, not like a similar island type structures. Okay, but over here we got them enough to maybe be actually reflective of it, especially if we consider that the shoulder to really extend down to here. I just noticed, I guess that's kind of also there. This one's really, like, there's a lot of features here that are in this terrain. And then this one I was talking about. So we got the eye again. And then how I kind of look at it is the heart here, which is the mantle puncture hole. Here, which is here, generally, somewhere here. Hard to tell because the terrain doesn't really show it, maybe here. That kind of looks like a feasible location, although that might just be roads. Although then maybe the roads are chosen for like terrain-based reasons. Let's get an exact location. 70, 20, 70, 25. Okay. Not quite. So somewhere around here, more so. And maybe it's subtly visible here. Maybe it's even in an ammonite. I was kind of looking for circles, but clearly this is not going to have that feature. It's coming up like this. Like it kind of has an ammonite type feature here. Is that roads too? Crazy, guys. It's so subtle that it takes like mapping optimal road positions or something. Oh, to even in any way indicate like a spiral under here. This kind of looks like okay, so that generally though is this, which is like the feel, the heart of it, and then eyeball. So generally from here, it goes up here to like this line is around here. And then this shoulder is actually in this way. And then going up this way, this is kind of part of the wing over here. So essentially what I was thinking yesterday, and I feel really good about this in terms of what it's like really pointing to, is it's really like this wing fanning out and causing a current to fan out this way. This is what this is. It's like the backstop, and then like the almost like a shower head that just has currents of basalt of mantle flowing this way under the surface, just flowing until they like bubble up and fracture the surface. So that's that. And then across here to the back here is the path the storm travels, which then comes up here and reaches like the neck, which is maybe in this region again where the like parallel lines are kind of visible over here, especially. Like more linear features like this. And then it goes this way into the head. And it physically goes over a space to here, which is like the ear ring. And then it continues down a path like here. It's even kind of curved, a little curved. This is a little curved. This one goes out and in. This one goes in and out, notably. Also, this eyeball is not as geared, but maybe it's more reflective of the general shape here also. And maybe this general shape, etc. And then the nose and the mouth generally here. With like a chin here, I guess. And then I was thinking there's kind of a split where the system goes this way, but then there's this here, so there's this like dividing. Although maybe it just has more to do with Gir National Forest being like this structure and just like currents coming this way and like widening or something from over here that like go into it and just bow out. Which maybe because let's see. I've been talking about this concept. I think it's here. I thought it was here. I know where it is. If I can find the folder. Where the storm was here, there was a storm causing the current to flow this way. Vortex storm that caused the mantle to puncture, so big storm. And then it moved. Essentially, it caused a mound to accumulate. And then that caused the storm's current to deflect like this. Then it moved over here. And I put that its current went generally across here, but like it probably also put a current this way. And generally was like meeting this resistance, bowing it out like this maybe. So maybe as it moved here, it had a type of effect similar to this, enough to like put a feature into this rock or whatever this is. And then that's pretty much the whole head's features. I'm kind of surprised there's no nostrils on either of these. Like, this kind of maybe could be reflective of the nostril, but it doesn't even have to be, because there's already like cross lines here to a degree that are detectable enough to be like, alright, that's kind of like that. I was thinking of looking into this more, like anything I can find on this topic. To see if it continues to parallel. Like, I noticed these three are kind of reminiscent of, like, if the storm was moving and creating flows from it, where a mound formed here and a flow went out this way, chakra, chakra, chakra. That concept, maybe. Even with these openings, are kind of like how chakras tend to be. Like, not the best representation. Maybe Alaska is better. I was just thinking, can I find a better representation like this? Alaska really has that feature. And then kind of these extending protrusions on the side. And then the inward. So, like, that to me maybe is chakras, which, if it's referring to this region, then maybe is referring to this, giving like a just direction also. Like, hey guys, don't forget about this. There's also the aspect where the current flows across here, and the mound like literally deflects it into two currents here. And then also over here there's a current. Somewhere exactly, I'm not sure. I think it might have actually been through here, through the beak, that went out here initially while the storm was causing a current this way, but then it moved. Although maybe it was most like here a long time and then rapidly moved and wasn't really involved with more emissions as much as just shaping the region as it moved afterwards. So that, like, the mounds over here were more so reflective of just currents flowing across this way. I think Shiva craters around here too, somewhere, maybe here. That sure looks like it right there. So maybe it's just hitting resistance. Essentially flowing to a certain point and then just like melting holes into the ground enough to like physically carve downward, maybe? I don't know. So as to not actually go beyond a certain point and just to limit the extent of the like flow across the surface here. So maybe Shiva crater is related, because this is all like the last 66 million years. Almost instantaneously when the Deccan traps were deposited practically. Okay, so this, I'm not sure what to make of it. If this shoulder, then it comes back towards here. Maybe if we look here, this is not the worst thing. It goes like this way and back towards it. Maybe this whole structure kind of like goes away from the head that way and then back towards this. Down over. I mean, it's not like completely following it, so it's not necessarily that. This way. I really do see a spiral here. I just don't think that's like it's down here though. Yeah, I don't see that feature. I mean, I'm literally looking for this line and like these lines. This region is generally here. I think it's generally this, like especially more the further we get down here, with this even being reflective of here. The line in the middle, the Indus River thing here. I think it's one. I don't know. So then, near at the bottom of that, near the heart, some kind of thing coming across behind it. Like, I don't know if it would be all the way back here. Like, seems too far, too unreasonably far to just jump away like that. Maybe there's some kind of thing going across here, though. Enough to kind of be like maybe in relative to that position there, that's kind of plausible in this region, at least for one of them. 1, 2 maybe, and maybe even a third. Maybe it's more from this region where it comes out of. Where it comes out of. Goes down, over, down, like from, so more from here, and then over this way, and then up to that. That kind of, that fits way better than starting from here. And it's actually more where this would be. If here's the mantle puncture hole, and then there's a space up to this line, although the top shoulder, yeah, pretty much. I mean, pretty much. If this goes out like here, then this goes out to it initially, especially before this region widens and it's carved. Like then it was going really right to this. And then does go up to the Air Valley trend. There's definitely like a back this way kind of thing going on. Where exactly it is, referring to. Maybe, I don't know, but here is my guess. And then up this way, maybe to 1, 2, 3 to represent this stretch. That would imply that this current is really going like this way from pretty much like here over body. Wait. It's kind of, this arm that I'm thinking of is kind of going inward if it goes back that way. I just would like it to reach to here. Maybe it kind of has like... Okay, before I fall asleep and etc. I think that's good. That's a good next Birdman episode. We got something I feel pretty good about. The leg region, at least, like, has a plausible connection of something of significance to the current flows that's maybe represented, especially in the legs. Are there enough that it also like goes with the bird head and the shoulder and the wing type structures? So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Legs there. It's really like two separate Birdmans. Like this one that goes back to the legs here is really more so through this region, it seems. And then this one is more like focused over here almost. Like if of course, if any of this is representative of anything. There's always that thing going on where maybe none of it's so, but the only way to find out is to look. So without further ado, see you next time. Thanks for listening. Oh, Lord.